Welcome to RCAM. I'm your host, Ryan. And thank you for tuning in today. So, today we are going to be talking about man keeping. What is it? What is man keeping? We'll explore that question. We will also be talking about DINKS. And in addition to that, we'll cover some other stuff happening in the news and then we'll play some Mark Raiders. Pretty well rounded night. So I'm pretty excited to get into some of this this content tonight. Oh man, I gotta fix my TikTok. There we go. There we go. Everything is copacetic. Sweet. Okay, we're good. We're good. I gotta get used to my. Still, I'm not entirely used to my camera placement because I'm used to like looking this way for my camera, and now I have to look this way. So it is what it is. But thank you guys for bearing with me. All right. So we are going to be talking about man keeping. What is that? What is that? That's a good question. What is man keeping? Oh, dang it. Let me make sure I do my post on Twitter. All right, we're good. So what is man keeping? Well, we're going to explore this question because I think it's a good one. I think if you are hold on a second, trying to learn the inside of a feminist oh, man, I need like a mount for my camera. I think that's better. That's better. That's good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. So one of the fascinating things about feminism is that they always manage to come up with new buzzwords. I mean, feminism, one of their great gifts, what has made them so effective, is that they are incredible at just inventing new words. Mansplaining, man keeping, toxic masculinity, the list goes on. So they come up with these words that they use to describe actual, just, normal behavior for the most part. Man spreading, another one. Man spreading is when a man just he sits down like a dude. Maybe his legs are a little open. Yeah, because we don't have to cross our legs because we're not women, we're men. Um, Mansplaining is really just when we're explaining something. They don't like that. They don't like explanations because they are unreasonable people, which is why I have to mansplain this to them. I have to mansplain explanations to them. And now the latest one is man keeping. If you have any guesses to what that is, feel free to chime in to the comments and let me know what your thoughts are on what this new mystical term means, and we will talk about it. But let's not wait anymore. Let's just start to cover this. I did adjust my scenes a little bit too, so hopefully everything is looking good. We will see. I gotta adjust a little bit here. Oh, this is the wrong one. Nope. Nope. Oh, here it is. Bingo. Hold on. I gotta fix TikTok because it's not looking right. And I gotta fix this scene too because that's also not looking right. So we'll fix that. And see. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Okay. So, man keeping is why women are done with dating. Man keeping. Is this really why women are done with dating? We'll find out. So, this is by Vice. And it reads, researchers at Stanford have finally given a name to something many women have been dealing with for years. Oh, thank God for researchers at Stanford. What would we do without them looking into the deeper enigmas of, what's going on with men? It's called man keeping, and it's helping explain why so many women are stepping away from dating altogether. All right, let's see what this is. Mankeeping describes the emotional labor women end up doing in heterosexual relationships. It goes beyond remembering birthdays or coordinating social plans. It means being your partner's one man support system, managing his stress, interpreting his moods, holding his hand through feelings he won't share with anyone else. It's all unpaid. Wow. Unbelievable. It's unpaid. They're doing this unpaid. Horrible. Unacknowledged and unreciprocated. Yes, because men totally do not have to deal with um emotional baggage with women. That's something that we never have to deal. That's I've never had to deal with emotions from women. It just doesn't happen with them. They're just totally totally unemotional creatures. They have it all together all the time. 100% of the time they are unemotional every time. This reads like a parody article. Like, is this real? Am I being punked? Um, the root of the issue is tied to what experts are calling the male loneliness epidemic. Huh. I wonder why men are feeling lonely and isolated and alienated. Uh, Maybe it's because every single message geared toward men is negative. Maybe it's because for years and years, women have asked men to be emotionally available. They want us to be emotionally share your emotions. You're not being emotional enough. You're not being emotionally available. But now when they finally do, when they finally get the gumption to share how they're feeling, sorry, fellas. This is too much emotional baggage for the women in your life. And it's also unpaid. They're not paid enough to deal with your problems, guys. And this is why, by the way, I know feminists tell you or women tell you they want you to be more emotional. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Do not fall for it. Do not be more emotional. It is it is 100% a trap and also not your duty as a man. Uh we are not supposed to be the emotional ones, okay? We are supposed to be able to keep it together under pressure and and be a source of strength for our partner. That is the duty of a man. We are supposed to be a source of strength. We should be the people or the person that people turn to in a time of crisis. And if you are having emotional struggles, well, that this is something that you should communicate to other men in your life, preferably like spiritual leaders in your church, asking them to help you navigate difficult seasons of your life. I'm not saying you can't be emotional at all with your spouse. That's not what I'm saying. You absolutely can, but you can't like totally dump everything on them because they can't handle it actually. And that's why we have feminists here that come up with this term man keeping, because they don't know how to deal with a man's emotions. They don't. They don't understand it. Actually, there's a video I want to play for you. I got to find it real quick, so just bear with me. We will get back into this, but I do think it adequately captures how women are just totally disconnected from what men have to deal with. And when they do get a taste of it, it's really unbearable. It's too much for them. All right, let's see here. I can find this. Anyway, I hope you guys are good. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't, smash that like button and repost. That helps me grow. That helps me expand my reign of power. Just smashing and reposting and liking and following, doing all those things helps me grow, and I want to grow. Contrary to what you might think, I want to grow. I want to reach more people, ultimately in pursuit of advancing the gospel. That is my chief aim in life, and any help I can get, I will take. All right. Jeez, I'm trying to find this post. Sometimes I wish people didn't post as much as they do, because it's difficult to go back and find tweets I need. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find this thing. I haven't found it. All right, let's see. Trans woman. Oh, wait, no. I need a trans man. It's a trans man, not a woman. Trans man. Oh, God. Sometimes you don't... Sometimes I wish I didn't view Twitter, because some of the stuff you get unintentionally exposed to is just... It's just wretched. It's just absolutely wretched. Oh my God. I wish there was a feature where you could just straight up ban pornographic content, period. Like you can't see it at all. It's just totally filtered out of your line of sight. Cause I really hate being exposed. Like you search for something and then you get exposed to something horrible, and I cannot stand it. Dang, I cannot find this. I really thought I would be able to find it. Bear with me. I'm almost there. Just got to look through like 1,000 bookmarks, and I will find it. I will find it. I will find it, and I will share it. Or maybe not. Maybe I won't find it.
Fire on it! Do some damage!
Huh. Let me see. I know Walsh shared it. Maybe I can find out on Walsh's page. Media. Nope. The problem is that there's like so many posts to dig through, and I don't really want to get bombarded with pornographic content by going and using the search feature, because it's disgusting, and I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I have no desire. So I have to try to do this the hard way and look and find it just being shared. Maybe I won't be able to find it. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to share this with you, but I'm not about to expose my eyes to pornographic content to do it. It's not going to happen. All right, there's one more page I can check, and then I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up. I don't want to have to give up, but I might. I might have to. I might have no other choice. All right. Let's see here. Almost there. If Libs of TikTok doesn't have it, then nobody does. It was such a good video too. It really just shows you that women are ill-equipped to deal with men's issues. They just don't know how to handle it. It's a sad, unfortunate truth, but it is what it is. And that's fine because we have differences in gender. We are not the same. This is not a one size fits all. We're all different, and that's okay. Men have issues unique to themselves that we have to kind of bear our cross alone, or at least bear our cross with other brothers and turn to God in times of crisis. I mean, that's probably the ideal thing. And that's something that I typically don't like. I don't experience like depression or anything like that. I'm generally a pretty happy, even keeled guy. I don't really struggle with depression or anything like that. I'm happy for the most part. Uh but I think the reason for that is because I'm a Christian. I follow Jesus. And because I follow Jesus, because he is truly the Lord of my life, I don't I don't get depressed. I don't experience that. That's not experience that I have to deal with because I'm a Christian. And my life is radically different because of it, and I cast my burdens upon him, and he he makes living this life pretty bearable, honestly, and I enjoy it. I'm pretty happy for the most part. Man, I thought I'd be able to find this. I cannot find it. Dang. It was a good one too. I've seen like every video possible. Maybe I'll try this search feature and maybe I'll be able to find it. All right, let's try this. Hopefully nothing inappropriate pops up. Trans man crying. Oh, here we go. Found it. Bingo. I should have just done that to begin with. All right. So this is a video going around. And just to recap for those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about this term mankeeping and how women are troubled by the unpaid labor they have to endure when men share their feelings with them. And they can't seem to handle it, and this is why they're evidently opting out of dating altogether. Um, but let's check in on women who have to experience what it's like to actually be a man, or kind of be like a man, masquerade as a man. When they have to wear a man's skin, what does that look like for them? All right, let's play this video. It's real quick. You don't know lonely until you have to take yourself for that meal alone, because sitting in a room with strangers is better than sitting in your own thoughts. And this is what most people would perceive as a man, but is really a transgender individual, a woman masquerading as a man, depressed and crying and filming herself crying on camera, which, by the way, is largely something that women do. I'm not saying men don't do this, but that's largely a female thing. And she can't handle it. She got a glimpse into what, manhood is like, and she can't handle it because she realizes that it could be lonely. Now, I'm not lonely, because I have a family. But when you don't have a family and you mutilate your body, well, yeah, I think that definitely makes things more unbearable for you. But also there are tons of men that feel this way. They feel alone, they feel isolated, largely because I think feminism has done a brilliant job demonizing them in every way imaginable. And that's how we get these terms like man keeping. So we'll get back to this article. So the root of the issue is tied to what experts are calling the male loneliness loneliness epidemic. As more men report to have fewer closer relationships, romantic partners are expected to pick up the slack. Instead of processing with friends, many men offload everything onto women they're dating. She becomes his entire emotional infrastructure. Yeah, because that's what women actually said they wanted. Like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Did we not all experience women demanding that men be more emotionally available? And that there was this movement against men who didn't uh share their emotions, and that women, claim they want men who can cry with them, and which they don't. That's a lie. They don't want men that can cry with them. And do not make that mistake. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that's what they want, because they don't. It's a lie, and they will lose respect for you, whether you want to admit it or not. Do not be vulnerable in front of a woman like that. If you have to cry, go find yourself an isolated area and let it out. If you do need to cry, during funerals is the appropriate time. And again, you want to be that person where people turn to during a time of crisis. You want to be the type of man who has it all together, that is actually attractive to women, is somebody that actually is in control of their emotions, and somebody that can actually be a source of strength. Okay. Plenty of women are no longer interested in that dynamic, according to Pew Research. Only 38% of single women in the US are currently looking for a relationship. Among single men, that number jumps to 61%. The gap says a lot. Women aren't opting out of love, they're opting out of being someone's therapist with benefits. Yes, because that's what a relationship is. It's just therapy with benefits. These people are so freaking shallow. It literally disgusts me. Like, imagine I said that to my wife. I'm sorry, hon. I'm sorry of being your therapist with benefits. Because my wife, she's an emotional creature. She is, and I listen to her share her struggles. I have never once thought about charging my wife for uh, sharing what she's going through. I've never once imagined introducing that dynamic in our relationship. Like, imagine you come home and you're like, as a man, you're like, hon, I just lost my job. I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, I charge $50 an hour, honey, but go ahead, let it on me. And you're like, what? I just lost my job. Yeah, you poor thing. That'll be $50 an hour. And then I can carry your emotional weight. Like, imagine that's the dynamic in your relationship. Like, how just crazy. Absolutely insane. So The Guardian calls Mankeeping. Okay, wait, hold on a second. Among single men, that number jumps to 61%. The gap says a lot. Women aren't opting out of love, they're opting out of being some sort of. The Guardian calls Mankeeping a modern extension of emotional labor, one that turns a partner into a life coach. This isn't about avoiding vulnerability. It's about refusing to carry someone else's emotional weight while getting little to nothing in return. And there's nothing wrong in feeling. Yes, there is. All right, relationships are not transactional. You shouldn't be looking at every aspect of your relationship as something that you should be getting paid for. Like, it's crazy to me. I cannot imagine living in a relationship where you're trying to look at every aspect as something you need to be paid for. You need to be paid to be there for your spouse. Do you need to be paid to um you know do the dishes, and paid to take out the garbage, or paid to mow the lawn? Like, imagine if men played this stupid game. Honey, that's going to require physical labor for me, and uh that's going to be $50. I'm sorry. I can't be doing all this physical labor for you without getting paid. This is unpaid labor. I just cannot imagine living in or being in a relationship like that. Thankfully, my wife is an absolute gem and not an insufferable harpy. and I don't have to deal with that nonsense, which praise God. Praise God for that, man. So So, yeah, and men can't win. So some men have started opening up more, which is good, but too often that openness lands in the lap of the person they're sleeping with instead of of a friend or a therapist. Vulnerability without boundaries can feel more like a burden than a breakthrough. What women want isn't complicated. They want shared effort, mutual support. Emotional responsibility doesn't uh, get passed off like a group project. When that doesn't happen, they're choosing solitude over stress, and they're not apologizing for it. Yeah, like women don't open up to men at all and put their emotional burdens on men at all. Like that doesn't happen. Come on. Oh Lord, help me, man. I just think this is awful. I think you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So because again, the feminists have been asking men to open up. Well, now they open up. Now they're calling it mankeeping. So they're demonizing you for the very thing that they asked you to do. And then if you don't do it, they're just going to call you too cold or distant. It's this sick, twisted game that they're playing, and I just find it frustrating. And I do want to say something to the men. I'm sorry you have to deal with this. I really am. I'm sorry. I to a degree do not understand what it's like to date in modern times. I got married in 2014. And to the woman that I had already been dating for quite some time. So I have no idea what it's like to date women in modern times. But if this is the stuff that you have to deal with, my God, I would, me personally, let's say like tomorrow, my wife magically disappeared because I don't want to think about any other scenario because I love her that much. But let's just say I lived in an alternate reality where I wasn't married. Uh, I would become like a priest or something. Like I just would opt out altogether, just to avoid this because this is crazy. But I say that as somebody that's older. You know, if I was young, I would definitely be interested in dating. And I'm not saying it's completely hopeless, guys, but Jesus, man, if you hear them using the term emotional labor, that's a red flag. If you look up the feminist buzzwords, and if they're using any of these feminist buzzwords, red flag, head for the hills. You know, your best chance in finding a decent woman is going to be in the church or at like conservative events, because at least you know these women are going to have, you know, shared values with you, and they're going to understand gender roles. Passport bros is the way though. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think that's probably a good idea too. Yeah, that's something I've mentioned on a previous stream. Like, if I were in the dating market, I would probably go look in other countries because you have women that typically have more traditional values than Western women. They just they don't have it, and it's and I don't know, man. We got to turn this around. We have to turn this around. Hello, just tuned in. What's happening? We are talking about man keeping, and that women are tired of carrying the emotional burden of men. So they're tired that they're doing this unpaid. It's unpaid emotional labor. And I was just saying, like, basically men are damned if they do and damned if they don't. And I think that's unfortunate. Culture vulture, I think that's probably the way to go. Focus on God. Yeah, that's 100% the best route to go, is just focus on your relationship with God. And if he, has a good woman for you, he will bring her to you. You will meet. And I'm not saying don't put yourself in situations where you can't meet good women, but focus on fostering your relationship with the Lord. Focus on becoming the right person. That's my recommendation for men. While you are waiting to meet your spouse, focus on becoming the type of person your future spouse would want to marry, and stay far away from feminists, man. Far away from them, because they are crazy. They are crazy, man. So I have this, and I have this. I'm just gonna read basically the headline from this because I do think Lisa Britton is pretty solid. I have found a healthy balance since I took that journey. Yeah, it's a good journey, man. From mansplaining to manspreading to toxic masculinity, recent years have seen a surge of terms vilifying men and masculinity while perpetuating female victimhood. The latest, mankeeping, is the most insidious yet. It frames the emotional labor women invest in supporting their partners through daily struggles, mental health challenges, or encouraging social connections as an unfair drain on women. This narrative grotesquely twists the male loneliness and mental health crisis into their story. Yeah, they're co opting that story, dude. They're trying to co-opt what men are going through into it being a problem for them. And this is one of the things where it's like that, like they can't help but make things about themselves instead of actually dealing with the male loneliness epidemic. They actually attack men for feeling for having these things called emotions. I love listening to Lady J because she really roasts them. I don't even know who that is, but I'll have to check this person out. It's not just an attack on men, it undermines the nurturing, empathetic qualities of traditionally associated with femininity, recasting them as oppressive obligations. Yeah, I agree. But according to the trad accounts and the rest of society, everything is men's fault. Yeah, I mean, I really can't stand it. It is frustrating. Now, I can't obviously throw my lot in with the red pill because most of them are godless degenerates, but I can say that there's something definitely wrong about making men the villains of society and looking at men as the source of all evil. And the same for women. Like they're not the source of all evil. Sin is the source of all evil. And sin and this idea that you know, um uh, either sex has it worse than the other is just I think unfair. And I also think sin too actually leads to some of this issues these issues that women or this issue of women that causes them to want to act like men in a way is because one of the curses in the fall is that women would have desire to rule over their husbands, rule over men. And and when you see women acting in this way, that is them giving into their sinful nature. One of the bigger creators on equality, yeah, I'll have to check them out. um but I do think yeah, this is a problem, and we have to figure it out because things are getting really bad. So this is from Andrew Colvett. He shared this graph. Girls are now less likely than boys to say they want to get married. 12% or of 12th graders saying they are most likely to choose to get married in the long run. It's boys 74, girls 61. The 12th graders who say they are already married, 0.5% are excluded from this analysis. That's that's sad, man. I mean, that is freaking depressing. That we now live in a day and age where men are saying that they want to choose to get married in the long run, and women are less likely to say that. And women have instead exchanged this for this. I mean, this vain eat, pray, love mentality where they choose their career over marriage and family. I've never seen women that are conservative or Republican act like that. Yeah, and they typically don't. They don't act like that. But this is a problem. And some of the and I like how this is a problem that's women, and not a dig at little apostate, but I don't agree with her here. She says it probably doesn't help that their male classmates are watching Andrew Tate videos and being told they deserve a harem full of 20 virgins who exist solely to cook, clean, and be bred. I don't really care what you think about Andrew Tate. We can't pretend like Tate created this problem. This is a problem that is created by feminism. Can't reference the fall and curse on women. You'll get labeled a misogynist. Another so-called Christian woman tried to say it wasn't about that. Psh, I don't care if I get labeled a misogynist. You can always spot them from the septum ring theories. Yeah, you're right, culture warrior. Yeah, the septum piercing, that's a huge red flag. If a woman has a septum piercing, probably a little bit of a feminist. Just throwing it out there. Probably avoid that. But I do find it crazy though, going back to that chart where women are saying that they are um, less likely to get married in the long run than men, and then blaming men for it. It's like men are always getting blamed, not feminism that caused this problem. Like, men are not the ones sending the message where women should focus on their careers. That's not us who are doing that. All right, that's not the message that we are communicating. That's exclusively from feminism. It's really depressing. And then we have another one. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up real quick. All right. So 40% of women aged 15 to 44 want to leave the US permanently. And then you have this post here that says, it's not surprising that 40% of women would want to leave a country where they'd be left to die if they needed life-saving medical care, abortion, while pregnant, while they are paid less for equal work. That's nonsense. They are not. And where half the country idolizes a president who's accused of raping women and kids. Yeah, which also, did happen. But yeah, I just think right now we are living in a time where women are just being collectively brainwashed by feminist propaganda. And it is our responsibility as men, even though I don't like that it is our responsibility as men to try to lead us out of this. I think women in the past were better looking as well. Yeah, I think human beings in the past were probably better looking as well because we were all healthier. We've just gotten increasingly fatter and fatter. So I think there's some truth to that. I find it hilarious that most of these Karens voted for Mandami, who don't understand what Sharia law is. Yeah. Yeah, they don't get it. You know what's crazy though? I just saw this and it's blowing my mind right now. I gotta say it's really weird and bizarre to me. I don't understand it. We're just gonna go on a quick small rabbit trail since he brought that up. I don't get this. I really don't. So this is by the Daily Wire. Mr. President, you are a billionaire. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Madami administration? Yeah, I would. I really would, especially after the meeting. So this is the press conference.
You're a billionaire. You have a different address nowadays than you used to, but you used to call New York City home. Would you feel comfortable living in New York City under a Mamdani administration?
Yeah, I would. I really would. Especially after the meeting. Absolutely.
What makes you comfortable?
We agree on a lot more than I would have thought. I think I want him to do a great job, and we'll help him do a great job.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That's shocking to me. I mean, I'm not surprised that President is trying to become buddy with That's not shocking. The shocking part is that, he claims that they likely agree on more than he thought. Like, what do we have in common with this guy? He's a socialist. What's there to agree on? I don't get it. But I think in Mamdani, I can't imagine leftists are going to be really happy about this. So this whole situation is just very confusing to me. I'll be real with you. I don't understand. I've seen some things in politics, and this is one of those things that just has me kind of like what's happening here? What is going on? I can't make heads of this. Mamdani walked a lot of stuff back in their meeting. Yeah, that's the only thing I can suspect, is that maybe he said a whole bunch of stuff to get the leftist vote, and he walked all of it back, and he's gonna walk all of it back. Maybe. I don't know. It's crazy to me. I want to go back to KMD's comment. He said, man, I want to cry sometimes looking at the classic movies from the past, pre-1970s, and seeing how women looked and acted. Maybe it was all Hollywood at the time, but they seemed more peaceful. They were more peaceful because we lived in a rightly ordered society where they still understood their roles. They understood their responsibility as women, and men understood their responsibility as men. It was back in a time where things made sense before third wave feminism showed up on the scene and destroyed everything. And I would say the first couple waves of feminism also contributed to that. But man, it's bad news bears, bro. And it gets worse. All right. So I'm gonna play for you guys a video. God, this video, bro. Oh, well, I'll play for you 2 videos. Hold on a second. So this is what feminists, they don't understand. They don't understand. They think they've traded the love of men, and they've traded marriage for going out and seeing the world, and then they encounter the world and stuff like this happens. It's really disturbing.
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah, so this guy like pulls out his junk and tries to harass this woman.
Back to the start of the day, my morning actually started being properly. But soon after, my mood changed. There was a man driving a scooter in front of me, and he would continually slow down so I'd have to pass him, and then he would speed up and pass me again, and it kept going on and on and on. The first time I smiled at him, and after that I kept ignoring him. He turned off and I thought I'd lost him until I pulled over to have a small rest and a drink, and he appeared again, got off his scooter and came to talk to me. There was a bit of a language barrier, but he seemed friendly, so I let him try to talk to me. But then it quickly turned uncomfortable and he asked where I was staying, and I knew where it was going. I wish I had reacted more firmly, but I was just in shock.
How does somebody do that? How do you, like, it blow? So ladies, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say it's stupid to travel alone by yourself in foreign countries. It is. Don't buy the feminist propaganda, that like everything's gonna be all right and you're gonna go on an adventure of a lifetime, because there are bad men out there. But what kind of man you're having a conversation, you're just talking, and you just like casually like pull that out and do that? I really think, like, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I really think we would be better as a society if we severely punished people that did perverted stuff like this. Like, you indecently expose yourself to somebody, it's getting removed. That would stop real quick. You force yourself on somebody, it's getting removed. And I think we would see that type of stuff basically stop overnight if they actually realize there's real consequences to this. Some countries do, yeah, and they should. Now, I don't think that's the case in Sri Lanka, obviously. There has to be something very normal about doing that for that. I mean, he was like smiling, and just very casually, very cavalier about it. Like it was normal. That's freaking bizarre. This is why you should not travel alone. Do not buy the feminist propaganda, this eat, pray, love nonsense. Don't do it. All right, so that was that video. We're going to do one more because this is something that I just find astonishing. So this is from a DINK. So if you do not understand what a DINK is, a DINK stands for dual income, no kids. So this is typically like a married couple that, has extra income and they spend it on themselves instead of kids because they have no kids. All right, let's play this clip. Oh, hold on. I need audio.
C'è la luna, mezzo mare, mamma mia, mi maradare. Figli mia, cutterare, mamma mia, pensaccia tu. Sitte d'ogna pisciaolo, ite va, ite viene sempre baccalare del mane bene. Se ci picchia fantasia, baccalare, figli mia. Oh mamma, la 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 la. Oh mamma, la la.
I love how these people, these dinks, think that like married people with kids can't do these things. I am able to drink coffee in silence most mornings. Actually, I do it all the time. All the time. And if my kids do happen to come downstairs, uh I can you know, I'm not bothered because I'm not a narcissistic, self-entitled jerk. I'm not bothered if they happen to disturb, you know, my quiet time. So that's one thing. I also am, you know, I can sleep in. That's not an issue. My kids stay in their rooms, you know, and they do their thing. If I want to sleep in, I don't want to sleep in though, because I'm not lazy. All right. I'm not lazy. So I don't sleep in. I wake up. I feel unproductive if I sleep in. So, you know, that's it. And to pretend like we don't have disposable income. Also, you know, like, see that little like constellation thing? I have one of those because, you know, we have money too. We can buy things. Um, you know, so it's like that's also something that's really funny to me is that they act like we can buy things in life. And then, you know, they also, you know, one was that she can watch cartoons when she wants to. Uh, do you think people with kids don't watch cartoons? I would argue that people with kids watch more cartoons actually. We watch more cartoons typically with our kids. I you know, I've seen tons of movies with my daughter. It's one of the highlights of you know, being a dad is actually taking her to go see the movies. And we enjoy it. We have a good time. Confused. What's wrong with that? Don't understand your argument. She has her life and you have yours. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal here, Danny, is that I'm not bragging out here bragging about how great my life is without kids. And she's bragging about things that she could do that people with kids can also do. Like they're a burden that prohibit you from doing basic things like watching cartoons, sleeping in, and enjoying coffee in silence. You know, they also, I've seen them talk about being able to go to Costco and be able to buy snacks. We do that too. You know, and never missing this one, never missing a brunch because my time is all mine. We eat brunch. Now maybe we don't go out to eat at brunch all the time. But we have brunch quite often. It's and we eat together as a family. So it's like I just this genre is stupid to me. It really is ridiculous. Especially to brag about it and pretend like married people can't do this. We can. It is perfectly within our power to do this. I watch cartoons with my kids. I've gone out to brunch with my family. I drink coffee regularly in silence. Not all the time, all right? There are times where, you know, my kids are loud, but I'm not bothered by it. I'm not bothered by the sound of kids. I actually love the sound of my children. It brings me joy. Don't think she's bragging about it. She absolutely is bragging about it. The music, watch it again, dude. If you can't if you can't recognize that she's basically saying she could do all these things because she doesn't have kids, then I don't know what to tell you, man. That's exactly the point they are. And that's exactly the point that most of these dinks do when they make these videos, is basically say, look at how great my life is without kids. Look at everything I can do without kids. And it's just like, you could do all those things with kids. Yeah, dude. I'm gonna disagree with your interpretation of that video. Obviously, she's trying to hold up her lifestyle as being one that is superior because she doesn't have kids, and that she could do all these things because she doesn't have kids. Like kids are a hindrance from doing these things, and they're not. They're not. You're perfectly capable of doing these things. Now, I will say, how do you know she can't have kids or not able to have kids? Well, she basically says in the very beginning of this, things that just make sense in my child-free home. So she is talking about her being able to do all these things because she doesn't have kids. I can literally read, brother. I can read things that just make sense in my child-free home. She's talking about what she could do in her child-free, childless home. Anyway, you could be mad, bro. I don't care. I think this genre is stupid, and I would like to see it go away. Very much. Very, very much. She might not be able to have kids, brother. Well, okay, I have sympathy for women that can't have kids, all right? But you can not have kids and then not try to make it seem like you're afforded freedoms that people with kids aren't. You could not have kids and not make insufferable TikTok videos. So there's that. Okay, and there's one more thing I wanted to comment on. Speaking of women being awful, I've just wanted to comment on this story because it's very frustrating to me. It's very frustrating what conservatives or the red pillars are now considering to be feminism, okay? So, actually, hold on a second. Let me share. Let me find this video. Give me 1 second here. Actually, I got it. Dang, I can't find it. Hold on a second. Oh, here it is. All right, so this is from Lila Rose. KMD, that woman made me mad. So annoying. Yeah. Yeah, it was very annoying. So this is from Lila Rose. Porn is destroying our society. Here is just some research of what research shows us. Pornography rewires the brain, triggering the same reward pathways seen in drug addiction. It lowers sexual and relationship satisfaction, leaving couples less connected and more isolated. Hey, I got a follow. I don't know who that came from, but thank you for following. I appreciate it, Autistic ZNK. Thank you for the follow, man. A national study of 2,120 married U.S. adults documented found that when a spouse begins using porn, the likelihood of divorce nearly doubles. Yeah. So if you are a man and you have that habit, just know that this could negatively impact your future relationship, and it needs to be nipped in the butt. Porn fuels exploitation, trafficking, and coercion. More than 88% of mainstream porn scenes include physical aggression toward women. It is strongly linked to sexual dysfunction and the rise of ED among young men. It's so harmful for many reasons. It destroys intimacy, clouds judgments, and leaves people disconnected from themselves and their loved ones. And most importantly, it separates us from God. It also turns men gay. So I would caution against it for that too. So let's watch this video, and you tell me who sounds more like a feminist, okay? And who sounds more insufferable. Because everybody is positioned. No, I'm not going to say anything. Let me just play this clip.
Okay.
And every man that I know is against porn.
Every man that you know watches porn.
That's not true.
I mean, we could live in like delusional land, or we could be realistic. Most men have consumed porn at one point in their life.
That's different from saying they are watching porn.
I mean, we could play semantics.
The social data shows that porn doesn't help men. This is the Christian teaching to have chastity. This is something that is possible. This is a law that comes from God himself. Are you Catholic, Pearl? What's your faith? Do you have a faith?
Why not let God say it?
Pearl, do you have a faith?
If I did have a faith, I certainly wouldn't use it to build my brand online.
If you don't want to share, that's fine. But
I did, I would not use it to build my brand online.
But do you have one? Is my question, not whether or not you use your brand for it.
I want to go back to the question.
Are you dodging me, Pearl?
I want to go back to the question.
You can just say you're not comfortable answering.
Do you think it's in your place as a woman? There's men overseas deployed fighting for our country. Do you think it's in your place as a woman to tell them that they should not watch porn? Go ahead.
Again, Pearl, it's not like my opinion. First and foremost, I'm a Catholic. This is the teachings of the Catholic Church. This is not Lila Rose's question.
I'd really just like you to answer the question. Do you think it's in your place as a woman?
Pearl, muting your guests is a very disrespectful thing to do.
Okay, and I'm going to do it again.
She's so
I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with you. I don't think you're acting in good faith right now. I'm going to have to end the stream with you if you're going to continue to mute me. Otherwise, I'm happy to continue. So it's up to you, okay?
I'm always waiting for these like feminine women to show me their submission, and they just never can.
So are you going to continue to mute me during our conversation, or is it going to be a good faith conversation?
If you overtalk me, I will unmute you. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to have to close out then, because I think you need to let your audience decide who's over talking who.
All right. See ya.
I didn't leave. You just know I didn't leave.
To show me their submission.
No, she kicked me off.
So you gave her a chance, and she cut you off. Yeah. Dang.
How would you know if the
Pearl, give me a hug.
Okay.
And
I watched that entire exchange, by the way, and Pearl is just obnoxious in every single way. She asks Lila questions. Lila goes to answer it. She immediately starts talking over her. When Lila tries to, actually say, her piece, she gets muted over and over again. So Pearl doesn't even give her an opportunity to actually address or answer questions. When Lila simply tries to go back to the Bible and appeal to the authority of Scripture from the Bible, Pearl dismisses it. Pearl refuses to answer questions about her faith, likely because Pearl is a godless degenerate who doesn't know Christ or care about the teachings of the Bible. And then when Lila tries to bring up Scripture, Pearl accuses Lila of lecturing her, which actually, if Lila does have a place, it would be actually teaching other women about what Scripture says, which Pearl refuses to hear. and Pearl just comes off as just this insufferable wench the entire conversation, man. You're back? I don't know what I said. I don't think I ever left. But yeah, she just comes off as this insufferable wench, man. And she refuses to answer questions, and then she talks to Lila and basically says that you know, you know, it's not her place to speak out against pornography, when it absolutely is her place. We have a responsibility as Christians to identify what is sin and what isn't. I wonder if that's an issue with TikTok, because I think my stream is, at least elsewhere, is going good. So maybe there's an issue on TikTok. I don't know, man. Um, a better place to probably watch the content, I'm going to just throw it out there, is Rumble. You know, so if you're not following me on Rumble or YouTube, head over there and give me a follow on those platforms. So that'd be awesome. But anyway, yeah, I just think Pearl is just obnoxious, man. You know, she refused to answer questions about her faith. She continued to mute Lila and say it's not her place to tell people not to watch porn. Why not? You know, and then to say she's lecturing men, when she's just telling them, like, hey, this is destructive, you probably shouldn't do it. I'm on Twitch too. Yeah, man. I believe it's rcam.tv or rcam_TV. Honestly, you could just go to rcam.tv, like just that website. It's literally just rcam.tv, and you can get to all my links. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the support. Truly. That's awesome. Thank you. But yeah, I just find her very frustrating. I believe every woman is a feminist. It's how good they are at controlling it is the key. Some women don't really act on their feminism as much as liberal women do. Maybe there's a degree of feminism in all women. You know, feminism in all women. You know, you pretty much can't escape it in modern culture. But I don't think Pearl is an authority on that. I really don't, because she is she's not traditional. By the way, she's like a practicing fornicator. She's self-admitted to that. She refuses to answer questions about her faith, so she doesn't adhere to scripture. And if you do try to share scripture with her, she'll accuse you of preaching to her, and people don't want to be preached at, so she'll dismiss that. And she tries to label godly women like Lila Rose, who, by the way, is actually traditional. She has 3 children. She's married. And she actually, you know, goes to church, you know, and stands up for babies. And just even in their presentation, okay, Pearl comes off as very obnoxious. Like if I heard Pearl talk in a room of feminists, I wouldn't be able to tell her apart from feminists by her demeanor. Just her demeanor, the way she carries herself, is like a feminist. Well, but Lila is poised, she's meek, she's gentle, she's kind, she demonstrates the fruits of the spirit, she demonstrates self-control. And I would say if you were to give men a choice where, you know, they acted like Pearl or they acted like Lila, men would overwhelmingly choose a woman like Lila. Who just seems overall more likable. Like infinitely more likable than Pearl. Pearl kind of acts like a dude. She talks like a dude. You know? So, you know, that's not traditional at all. So, yeah, that really rubbed me the wrong way. It really did. So, yeah, I found that very frustrating, and I find Pearl very frustrating. I just don't like that woman. There are certain people that I really just, I gotta pray for them. Really, is what I gotta do. because I just don't like them. Like, if you're somebody that's obnoxious, those are the people that are the most difficult to love. I just can't stand when people are obnoxious. It's just it's an issue for me. It's always been an issue for me. I just want nothing to do with people like that. Loud, obnoxious people. That too think they know better than everybody else. I don't like it, man. I don't like it. It's annoying. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's see. I might switch gears. We might do some Arc Raiders because I really want to play some Arc Raiders. Oh, cool. Give me 1 second. Had to call the bro to see if he could get on some get some Arc Raiders in. But yeah, I can't deal with people like that. Well, while we wait for him to get on, we'll get this set up. I got to make sure TikTok doesn't time out on me. Cuz after an hour of streaming on TikTok, it will time out. It does that. So let's see here. Oh man, I gotta get my chat pulled up. I'll do that in a little bit. All right. Anyway, I want to play this just real quick. I don't bear with some of the way women are dressed. I really can't help that. I wish I could censor it, but I can't. But I do want to revisit something and just be, just this guy was really naive and dumb, and anybody could have seen this a mile away. So this is a clip shared from a guy that was previously on the Whatever podcast. Now, this guy that was previously on the Whatever podcast had a girlfriend that was in the corn industry, and he wanted her ultimately to stop doing pornography. And we now have an update to how that story ended. And let me know your predictions, because you don't need to be Nostradamus to understand what happened here. Okay.
Last time I was on here, I was with Keely Rose, who is an OnlyFans girl, and after 6 years of living together and being together every day, she left me for another guy, and it kind of came abruptly. I was very heartbroken about it.
You guys were married, right?
We were engaged and definitely loved her and wanted to be in a monogamous relationship with her, and was monogamous during that period.
They were not monogamous, because she was actually engaging in adultery because she was taking her clothes off on camera for men.
Even though she was doing things with other guys for money. And now I'm definitely, shocked by it. You don't expect your spouse to leave you for another man.
This guy is actually a fool. A total complete fool. And I don't mean to make fun of him. That's not my intent, but it is actually foolish to think that the prostitute would not betray you or do you dirty. Like, obviously she would.
She was a stripper, correct?
Well, she started as a stripper for a few years, and then when lockdowns happened, she wasn't able to make any money, so she went to being a star, and then from being a star to doing only.
While you were with her, she was sleeping with other men. Is that correct?
Yes. I've done a lot of research into psychology, and I believe she's a malignant narcissist. And her coping mechanism for her anxiety and for her narcissism is to sleep with men and drink alcohol to cope with that, because it's like almost like a mental disorder that she has to cope with to deal with all the stress and anxiety that comes with being a narcissist. Last time
I disagree with that. I don't think she is a narcissist. I actually just think she's evil. And I think he is also just a pathetic man. You know, I don't like that we do this in society, is that we always try to pathologize what people are doing and make it seem like it's some sort of mental illness, when it's just really just unchecked sin running rampant, and people loving their sin over loving what is right, what is good, and what is beautiful. And this man, obviously, he brought this upon himself. You know, you don't get engaged to a digital prostitute and not expect it to go south. It's foolish. You already knew that her being in relationships with other men on camera for money is a sign of the type of character that this person has. And it should have been obvious. It should have been blatantly obvious that she was going to leave him. So I don't know why he was shocked, other than just being totally naive. But that is actually one of the least shocking things in the world. Like the shocking thing about it to me is that he's shocked. I'm shocked that my fiance, who is doing, digital prostitution, left me for another man. Not shocking at all. So just a fool. And this is why, by the way, I encourage you guys to read the Bible, because God warned you to stay away from women like this. He warned you to stay away from women that are like this. So just do it. Stay away from women like this. Listen to what God says. He knows better than we do. He knows better than we do. So it just, it's silly that we we don't trust God and just do what his word tells us. Like we really need to start being wise and not acting like fools. So anyway. I'm going to shift gears, and I am going to start playing some Arc Raiders. I guess I could technically keep TikTok open. I don't know if you guys probably didn't come here to watch me play Arc Raiders, but that's what's going down, all right? So you get, in my streams, I'm going to be me, all right? I'm going to focus more on just doing the things that I enjoy doing. And you guys can come along for the ride. If you don't enjoy this type of content, that's fine. I will not take offense if you gotta bail or do something. But I like playing video games. It's something I enjoy doing. So I think my strategy going forward with my content is going to be doing kind of news in the beginning and gaming toward the end, because I just like doing that. So, yeah, we should be good. So let me just get set up here, and we will be good to go. All right. I gotta like reconfigure everything too.
Not a petty person. But no, I saw almost fall
in a verifiably fabricated survey.
Hold on a second.
In a verifiably fabricated survey.
Oh, hold on a second. Bear with me, y'all. All right, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm going to pause this stream. Hey guys, sorry, I actually got to get going. So I'm going to end this stream for tonight. I will be back tomorrow though at 9 o'clock. I hope you have a very blessed night. Thank you for tuning in. Deuces.